All right, it's Tuesday. It's Weather for Weather Geeks time on what was a pretty, unfortunately, kind of eventful day here in downtown Youngstown. Our station is several blocks away from where the gas explosion was today, but nonetheless, kind of a close call. And yeah, this is an ongoing breaking news story, of course, so make sure you're paying attention to WFMJ.com, the 21 News app, and our newscast tonight at 11 for the latest on that situation. In terms of the weather, we've got a few days left in the month of May. I thought it'd be a good time to check in on some of the rainfall statistics. Now, despite these scattered showers that we have had today, no official measurable rain at the airport today, so we put up a 0 today so far. But this month, compared to average, we're over an inch above the average. We, of course, are above the average for the season and for the calendar year. 2024 through today's date, about 3.5 inches wetter than the average. Now, if you remember from our summer forecast a couple of weeks ago, we are expecting summer to progressively get drier and hotter. I suspect July and August will be pretty dry and pretty hot, with the exception of some scattered thunderstorms, summertime thunderstorms. But the severe weather blitz that has characterized May across most of the country should start to settle down. I'm going to show you a map that will show kind of the beginnings of that, even in the near term here coming up. In the meantime, our local rain gauge network today really didn't capture anything all that notable. We had one downpour, east of Lisbon that kind of fell in between our rain gauges, so not sure how much rain likely transpired out of that, aside from the Doppler radar estimates of mostly under 1/2 inch. Now, the air mass, aside from the spotty showers today, did dry out. Not as soupy as the last couple of days. Our dew point is 5 degrees lower than this same time last evening, and the dew points are going to be kind of a non-story from now through the weekend, with dew points very low, and that'll lead to some cool temperatures for Thursday and for Friday. With this dry of an air mass and a clear sky overhead at night, I think some of the coolest nooks Thursday morning and again Friday morning, maybe especially Friday morning, may touch 40 degrees. We're not looking at a frost concern, but one last springtime cool snap is heading our way. Radar loop as of 7:08 this evening. We had one last downpour that moved through parts of Jefferson and Hancock counties just to our south. That's closer to Wheeling as of this recording. We have a fair amount of showers and storms still ongoing up over western Lake Erie and up into Michigan, but I'm expecting those to start waning in intensity and in coverage as we go through the evening and get a little bit closer to sunset. Just what we don't want to see: more severe weather this evening in parts of Texas where severe thunderstorm watches and tornado watches are out. But, I alluded a little bit a moment ago, I should say, to the pattern starting to change, and we're seeing signs of this as we go into early June. I'm expecting more of a, northwest flow to develop across the high plains and into the Midwest. And this will kind of shut down the storm track that's been kind of like this. And that kind of a storm track brings a lot of rain chances and severe weather to the middle of the country. More of a northwesterly flow like this, at least in early summer, is a pretty dry looking signal. So I'm expecting this blitz of severe weather to start waning late in May and early in June. Not only will that be true across the middle of the country, but I think we'll have fewer opportunities for severe weather in eastern Ohio and western PA as well. But an unsettled day coming our way Wednesday. Hourly rain chances looking like this. They're going to be elevated most of the day. Generally, it's not a total washout Wednesday, but just plan on it at any point there being some raindrops getting in your way if you're trying to achieve anything outdoors. And with the clouds and the threat for rain, it's going to be a cool day coming up on Wednesday. We even are highlighted in a low-end risk of flash flooding on Wednesday, and that's because the flow aloft is pretty light. The winds are going to be pretty light aloft, and so anything that's kind of meandering is going to do just that. Just kind of meander around. These scattered showers won't be in any hurry to keep on moving, so it's possible we might see a couple of nuisance flooding issues across parts of the region on Wednesday. This is thanks to a low pressure system which will stick around for much of Wednesday, but by Wednesday evening it gets out of our hair, the sky clears. That clearing leads to lots of sunshine for Thursday and for Friday as high pressure builds in. Just a picture perfect afternoon coming up on Friday, which is the last day of school for many local districts. And wow, talk about spring fever, even summer fever. That last day of school is going to be just a beautiful, beautiful day. Temperatures will be below the average by a fair margin over the next couple of days, but by Friday we're getting closer to the average, and by the weekend we're back above average by a handful of degrees, with readings in the middle and upper 70s. I think we'll pop into the lower 80s early on next week. mentioned last evening that I think early June, and probably even through mid-June, will be characterized by a lack of intense heat. I am expecting a hot summer, but a lot of that's going to be weighted towards the latter two-thirds of summer, July and August. I don't see a lot of signals in June, at least through the first couple of weeks of June, maybe even the first 3 weeks of June. I don't see a lot of signs of any sort of string of upper 80s, lower 90s, that kind of a thing just yet. We'll talk more about the longer range, including an official June forecast, in future editions of Weather for Weather Geeks this week. Pardon the tickle in my throat, and have a great rest of your Tuesday night. I will see you back here on Wednesday.